Go ahead.
Oh, hello. Okay, welcome everybody to our Miracle Monday call. This is a very special call where we come together as community to really share what our results and benefits have been, because it's so inspiring and so exciting to hear so many different ways that the patches work. So I'm really happy that you're here today. We all love to gather, and especially those who are newer to the call. We welcome you. You're going to love this. It builds your toolbox because it's always good to have stories that you can tell of other people. So if you want to write down and make some notes, that's always a good thing. So you can, if there's a story that you really, really like. And these testimonials really are remarkable. The patch that we have, the main patch X39, is what we're going to start with for hearing our stories. And because we have a new kid on the block, the Celergize, we're also going to blend in this first 15 minutes, Celergize in X39. So we're expanding our first stories sharing. So think about what has happened to you. It can be either just X39 or those two together. And you're sharing, we're asking you to please keep to 30 seconds to a minute so we can get in a lot of shares. And remember not to mention any disease names. You can talk all about the symptoms, what's showing up, and pretty much we'll be able to pick up what that's about. And when you do want to share, there's a button on the bottom that says share, at least on my computer, and it says raise hand if you hover over it, and then you raise your hand, and then we will call on you. And so we're here today to support each other, to be in community, and to inspire. And with that, I would like to get started with our testimonials. So I see a few hands all popping up. Let's have Deborah, if you want to unmute and let us know what's happening.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, my voice is a little low today. I have been on 39, and I would say 80% of the time, the combo 39-49. And I go really strong. I'm 65 and I wear many hats professionally, and I live on a farm, so I'm with animals, and I just wear myself down. I work really hard. So when the Celergize came out, I received it the second Monday that it was out, and I put my 2 scoops in filtered water, and I just came back alive. Like I was 100% different person. And it has been just a real lifesaver for me. So I cannot say enough about the Celergize.
Love to hear that. It does give you that extra boost because we get all the nutrients that we're supposed to have to work with the patch most effectively. So thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
Okay, Larry, you're on.
Good morning, everybody. Today would be Monday. 2 weeks ago, I felt like I had some great relief from what I'm calling a retracing event. And so maybe people don't know what retracing is, but it's like an old injury that goes back and gets healed more correctly, if I could just be a summary for us. But anyway, I had 2 teeth extracted 20 years ago and just never had them replaced. They were in the back, and so I didn't do the implants. But 5 weeks ago, I began to get this dull pain, and I thought, was this an abscess? It felt like a bit pin was being pushed down into the gap where that tooth was. But it just continued to increase. And I was wearing my patch, and I took the patch off my back of my neck and put it behind my ear for about 4 days. And suddenly I realized that the pain was less. So I thought, hey, I'm doing a good thing. But I don't know if it was a virus. I don't know if it was retracing, but something was miserable. Anyway, I put the patch there, continued to patch, continued to drink and hydrate. And Monday, 2 weeks ago, it went away completely. So I have been wanting to tell more about, the dental things for Dr. Wong, I think it is, who speaks to us from time to time. But anyway, dental help can be had by patching. So thank you.
Thank you. And, dental is a big deal because all the organs, everything is attached to the teeth. And so and I myself am going through something, and the patch is helping in a lot of ways. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you,
Patch
Doctor.
worked, yes. Okay, Lavelle.
The morning. Okay, so over the weekend, I was just saying, how many stories do I have of X39 only? And I just started writing down about 20 different stories, being in the company now for over 5 years. But one story I want to talk about is a friend of ours named Chuck Walker. He's one of our directors. I gave him some patches, and it's like 5.5 years ago, and he put it up on his dresser, and he never used them for about 3 months. And he came home one day because he works like all day and all night at his hair salon. And he felt like he was going to have a stroke beaming. And he was laying on the bed and he looked up at those patches. He said, I wonder if this stuff works. And he put the patches on and the life came back into his body. Oh my gosh. And it's fine. And I just talked to him last night. He's still wearing those patches and still sharing his stories. It's just a phenomenal story.
Thank you. Love hearing that. Yeah, it brings people back to life. I mean, this is how powerful the patch is. Can you, I mean, it's when you really pinch yourself and think about it, how you were able to change someone's life like that. It's just extraordinary rather than them going down the drain, so to speak. Okay, Ravel,
Thanks,
did I?
Mimi, and thank you for hosting and Robin and Gregory. Last week I shared Dee Gilmore's story about mulching, liming, and mowing her entire lawn that she had never done before on X39 and Celergise, but failed to mention, I just learned last Thursday, or Chuck Labrenz and I just learned that her husband also had an incredible experience. And she kept it quite general, but she held up the Celergise in her hand and said, "This is a game changer," and said that her husband's sex drives just went whew. So I wanted to share that so people know that and can share that with people who have voiced that issue. Thank you.
Super important. Everybody likes that. And David is always looking at that and, very interested in that for the men. He waves that flag for the men. So, yes. Okay, Judy.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Amy. So I've been on the patches coming up on 4 years now. And thank God I had started when I did, because 2 years ago I had a really bad health crisis, and it literally, I think without the patch, I would have been dead. And I'm serious when I say that. So I'm back. I'm just saying this to encourage people that think nothing's happening, nothing's happening. Things are happening, whether you feel it, whether you see it. It took a while. Actually, when I got to this person to help me with my supplement for my condition, it really, because I'd been on the patch for 2 years, really, I got my blood work back, and within 3 months, everything was good. And now, when we continue to monitor, because you kind of have to with supplement stuff and with this condition. And so I am so grateful. And, it's like never think that nothing is happening, because something is. And then the Celergise, somebody said a few weeks back, and I heard them, they're like it's curbing my appetite. And I have noticed that. It's like I eat the same thing every day almost, and now I can't even eat. I get so full. And so it's really, I love the Celergise, and I do what a few of you do out there. I sip on it throughout the day just to kind of keep levels of energy going. And I absolutely love it. And I am back at the gym again. I'm getting my strength back. I am just super excited about, I love our patches. So don't ever give up.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. You know, we're so used to wanting to feel something right away, and that's why we don't want to overpromise, but we do have one patch wonders, 1 2 hour wonders, whatever. But it's always important to keep in mind that it's 1 month for every decade of your life, and that is a ongoing healing process that the body is going through. So thank you, Judy. Okay, Beck.
Good morning, Beamy. Thank you so much. I love this meeting. I just have to say that this Monday morning thing, I'm so grateful. I started 2.5 years ago, November 22 on X39, forever changed my life. And I'm going to weave in the Celergize. I've been on it for maybe 2.5, 3 weeks. And I felt like my what I had at the beginning with X39. It was more subtle, and it was that, wait a minute, I feel like I have more energy, energized with Celergize. And I won't be without that either now, because I know all those very scientifically combined nutrients and minerals in there were designed by our favorite person, David Schmidt, the scientist of scientists in our day. I wanted to say I experienced what I think we call retracing, and Beam, I would love it if you wouldn't mind for people watching the recording, because I'm going to share this one with people that can't make doc talk. We say that term a lot. I think I know what it means, but you have a way of making things super simple. I think I had a retracing experience, which my understanding of it is something I either didn't know of in the past. I had my body was trying to go back and fix it. And what I did was I learned it from these meetings. I took my X39 off my neck where I normally wear it. My bottom right heel felt like a stone bruise, like when we were kids. And I kept waking up to that, and it would kind of come and go. And I thought, that was kind of concerning. I said, Lord, that concerns me. I'm like, wait a minute, take your X39 off your neck and put it on there. And I'd been having it for several days, but literally the first day of putting it on, I got relief, and I just kept putting it on there until now. I don't need it anymore. And I'm wondering if that could have been retracing, and if you could just describe what that is, if at some point on this call, and I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We did have a little bit of a retracing sharing earlier, but I'll just briefly go over it. The body holds trauma. When you have an accident or some illness or something, it's registered in the cellular makeup. So it can get stuck there. And what the patch is able to do is help the body to release those cellular memories. So sometimes pains come up, or an injury that you had back in high school, all of a sudden the knee starts hurting, or the shoulder. So that's kind of what it is. And then what happens is it just starts being part of your healing process, and your whole body is coming into more vitality and wellness because it's clearing out. So I hope that helps.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Sunwolf. You can unmute.
I love Celergize. I love how it makes me feel. I love everything about it. I'm telling you, the taste is extraordinary. And I've had 2 people, and they both expressed how it really helped them with their fog. They felt they could think clearly. It's incredible. Another piece, X39. I had a wart on my thumb for decades, gone. After about 3.5 months, I had a severe infection in my knee, which was very close to the bone. It's a long story, so I have to keep it tight. The ortho couldn't believe how the infection reversed after 2 days. The wound specialist looked at me in the eye and said, with a big smile, "You must come from another planet." And I said, "Yes, I do." And she said, "I've never seen anything like this in 28 years. And one last one is floaters in the eyes. I used carnosine eye mask. Extraordinary results. For me, having above average health, to experience this is a gift from God. You know, I'm just so blessed, so blessed.
Thank you. Yes, it's amazing the different levels of healing that we go through and the different platforms that happens on. So thank you so much for sharing. And now we've reached our halfway mark. So now we can start sharing about other patches mixed in with the X39. And I also want to encourage the newer people, maybe you've been in less than 3 months or less than 6 months, but your story is important and we love hearing from new people. So just anything that has happened to you, raise your hand so we can hear from you. All right, Michelle.
Hi, Beamy.
Hi.
Beamy is beaming light. I love it. I'm glad we're at the 15-minute mark because I wanted to refer to a question that was brought up in the chat. A woman, Michelle, another Michelle, asked if a 16-year-old can wear glutathione. So I thought we could maybe spend a moment on that, and then I have a couple of shares as well. Do you want to respond to that, Beamy?
You can respond.
Okay. All right. So yes, the answer is yes. The patches are safe. I wouldn't say a very, very young child maybe for glutathione, but a 16-year-old can certainly talk about how they're feeling. It's a very powerful detoxification patch. So depending on, the relationship that the child has with the mother, I would say just keep in touch and make sure they're not having a detox reaction because that can happen. It could be a headache, a sick stomach, something like that. So yeah, I would just watch this 16-year-old, and if the person is after a few hours doing fine, just keep on going. Do you have something else to add, Gregory? You just popped your camera on. I don't know if you want to. Nope. Okay. So I'm going to share about Eon. I woke up one morning. This was, I think it may have been a while ago when it was quite cold here in Colorado. So, and my finger just felt kind of numb. It was just weird. I just woke up and my finger was numb, and I had the Eon on the back of my neck from sleeping. That's usually when I wear it, and I just put it on my hand, like at the base of that finger. I thought, well, I don't know, of course I could have put an X39, but I had the Eon and I thought this is a numb kind of a thing. So I'm going to see if that works. And in about 5 to 10 minutes, that numbness feeling just went away entirely. And then a quick X39 story, if you don't have a bunch of patches with you, let's say I was shopping at Costco, I didn't have my first aid kit, but I always have an X39 on the back of my neck. And I banged my shin on the cart, like just the metal bar, and it hurt. It was like a 8 out of 10 pain. It really hurt. Tears came to my eyes. And I just took the X39 off the back of my neck, slapped it on that part of my shin, and in probably less than a minute, the pain dropped to a 4, like in half. And then by the time I got to my car and started driving, which was maybe 10 minutes later, it was completely gone and I had no bruise.
Yay!
So, yahoo!
Thank
Love
you.
our patches. Thank you, Beamy.
Thank you. Thank you. And we're getting lots of hands raised. So thank you. Let's look at keeping it 30 seconds to a minute so we can get everybody in. Okay, Dashanka.
Great. So short and sweet. My sister had some pain in her back, and the only patch that she had was SP6. And so she grabbed the SP6, put it on her lower back where the pain was, and the pain went away like that. I also put all the patches on my children, starting as when my son was young as 7, because I met some other moms who do that, and my kids love their patches. When I don't offer them, they say, "Mom, where's my patch? Mom, where's my patch?" So
Thank you. Yay, children. They're smart.
well,
Okay, Deborah, iPhone.
Hi, it's Deborah again. My St. Bernard will be.
You muted yourself.
Hi, my St. Bernard will be 11 in November, and he was born with a hole in his liver, not expected to live 18 months. And now his right leg's giving out when he's walking. And so I patch him up every day, 39, 49, and he looks forward to being patched. Just now, he was kind of barking, wouldn't eat his breakfast, put his patches on, and he's happy. And
Thank-
it's helping.
Yes, remember, we don't promote it when we advertise or talk to people, but the pets are, every pet benefits from wearing the patch.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
that.
Thank you.
Okay, Kyra, or Kira, sorry.
Thank you, Kira.
Okay.
This is a Celergize testimonial. Between the X39 and my morning use of Celergize, I've increased the difficulty and the length of my morning walks with our new recently adopted pound puppy, who is about 50 pounds now and still growing. Her paws are huge. I not only have lengthened my morning walks, I go up the hills as quickly as I go down the hills now with her. She's leading, but I'm able to not struggle to keep her back. So I'm very grateful for the Celergize.
Thank you. You're going to keep up with your dog. Yay.
Absolutely.
Okay, Stacy.
Good morning, everyone. Last week, Gregory and I both had a really good testimony for our grandchildren and the patches from bug bites. A couple days ago, my husband was stung on the back of his neck by a yellow jacket. We seem to have yellow jackets right now, which is bad. Anyway, so after a shower, I told him to put on the X39, the glutathione, the Eon on that bug bite. So he comes into the kitchen. He's like, "Well, I only put the X39 on, and it's hurting so bad." I'm like, "Where's the glutathione, the Eon?" He goes, "I didn't know where to put it." So I went and got them, put them on the back of his neck, just kind of triangly stacked with the X39. Literally, like, walked 10 steps to the garbage can. And I asked him, I said, "Let me know when your pain starts going down." He goes, "It's gone." Literally 10 steps. 10 steps. It's so awesome. And to Michelle, our 6-year-old granddaughter uses the glutathione and the Eon for the very first time last week, and she had no problems. So.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all that. All right, Ruth.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm excited to share. When I was 23, I had a swelling in my neck with a childhood disease. And I made sure that I laid flat and I crawled to the bathroom so the swelling wouldn't drop to my female organ so I couldn't have children. So instead of dropping, it went to my brain. And so I had the swelling in my brain, and only 10% of the people live that had what I had. And only a few percent of that 10% have a normal life. Well, I lost the memory of my first 23 years of life. My mother would work with me, and I finally came to peace with, if I don't remember, it's okay. So I've been on the patch for 3 years. We've been doing all of them. So I can't credit just one patch. And I'm starting to get memories from my childhood, from my high school and college. And to me, that's a miracle. So I just had to share being on the patch. I guess this is retracing because it's bringing back memories and I can share them. And one quick story about my husband. 77 years ago, he broke his big toe. And last year, he was able to move his big toe for the first time in 70 years. So that's another miracle. So thanks for listening.
Oh, Ruth, amazing. Both of those are such heartwarming shifts and changes. I mean, but yours with remembering your childhood, amazing. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing that.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we will always be on the patches.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay. Thanks.
Miss Tracy.
Hi, good morning. My 80-something-year-old neighbor fell going up some rock steps a week and a half ago and was black and blue and bruised and just really hurting. So I asked if I could please come put some patches on her. I patched her with X39 and Eon. Her husband did not think they were going to work. He was not a believer, and you would not believe the before and after pictures. I took a picture of her on Monday, swelling, bruising, black and blue. Took another picture of her just this last Saturday. You would not believe the amazing results. Her husband texted me last night and said, I'm a believer. I want to order the patches for both Anna and myself. So amazing, amazing results. And she's in her 80s, and you know how easily they bruise, and X39 and Eon was able to help her tremendously.
That's amazing. And, you know, that would be great if you could post those on Robin and Gregory's Facebook page so that we
Sure.
can see that and we can show them to other people. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. I don't know, exemplars, Zamplars.
Phoebe, that's me. I think I put my name as the third word. This is Heidi. So I'm not going to turn my video on until my testimonial is done, but I have a quick testimonial. I'm a 55-year-old birth mom of 7. I have been wearing X39 since 2022, the beginning of 2022. And I just recently incorporated 2 weeks ago the Eon patch at night. I was attacked by a dog in October, and I gained probably 60 pounds from not going out and doing my typical parkour style running. I live in a Native American community where there's lots of dogs and no fences. So I took a bike ride on Saturday night, just to kind of just to have some fun on my bicycle. I just got a new bike. And I went 3 miles to get me a root beer and drank it, and came 3 miles back, and there were dogs barking the whole time, and I did not go off the road. That's huge for me.
Yay! Thank
And
you.
this is me 60 pounds heavier.
Good, I guess. Yay. Okay. Thank you, Heidi. Okay, Norma. And then Shannon and Gregory will be our last one.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I had a friend. I went to a birthday party with about 50 friends, and that I hadn't seen in a while. And a gal that, you know, she had these blotches all over her face, and I said, you know, what is going on with your face? I mean, I didn't want to ask her, but I felt the Holy Spirit saying, ask her, ask her. She says, oh, I got burned from wearing sunscreen on my face. Who knew? And so I said, oh my goodness, we can't have that. It's been going on for a couple of years. I took my X39 off the back of my neck after wearing it for 12 hours, put it right on the worst blotch on her face. She said the next morning, that spot was so much lighter. She slept like a baby with an old patch, and she's now a brand partner, and her skin is looking better by the day. So Thank you, David Schmidt, bringing beauty back to women.
Wow, great story. Thank you. Thank you. Shannon?
Good morning, everyone. It's good to be back on the call. Just wanted to share an awesome testimony. My wife and I went up hiking in the high mountains of Colorado, which we don't get to do very often. So I was a bit concerned about being sore. We decided to take a 3-mile hike to an old abandoned gold mine. And we had our little dog, and I'll tell you what, that Celergize and the X39, it kept us going all the way to the top. And you know, the real story is about my wife, who actually hiked down with a whole backpack full of stones and crystals, not necessarily gold, maybe a little, but it weighed probably 60 pounds. And she had no pain. I had no knee issues, which in years past would have killed me. But you know, I was just also thinking, based on that sunscreen statement, we had some glutathione on as well. And we had 0 sunburn, even at that high 10,000 plus, maybe 11,000 foot that we were hiking around. So I just wanted to share those stories, and thanks so much for the community.
Welcome back, and great stories. always energized and being able to keep up is very important as you're aging. So Gregory, you are our last one. You want to close it out? I think you're frozen. I know they're in a different location.
I'll jump in until he can talk.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
I'm happy to tell you that Rob and I are at our dear friend Jeff and Angela Steemax down here in Port Charlotte, Florida. We decided to stay a couple extra days after the Super Saturday, which was really super. And we're going to talk about more tonight. But and so I'm out on the back deck just enjoying the warm summer breeze here. Not much of a breeze, but just enjoying Florida. But since we're talking about grandkids, I think I told this story last week. I'm going to just tell it again, grandchild story. 2 weeks ago, we had a barbecue at my son Jason's house, and my 5-year-old grandson, Kinley, was scooting the chair forward and popped it down on his toe. And I just know, oh, and he just lit up. Oh, he was in dire pain. His dad, my son Sam, was sitting right next to me. He jumps in his dad's arm and he's just bawling. And, I looked at his toe. It wasn't bleeding, but you could see the skin was torn, scraped. I ran in the house, got my first aid kit, got an Eon patch. And I went back out and I said, Kinley, can I put this on your toe? And he goes, no. I says, well, let me just put it close to your toe. So, I put it just down below the toe. And I think within 30 seconds, he stopped crying. And about 2 minutes later, he looked at me and goes, those patches really work. So we have a miracle magic in our hands. So Robin, I'll pass it over to you to talk about tonight's call.
Okay, well, hello, everyone. It was so fun to see a bunch of you on Saturday at the boot camp, and it was an amazing day. And we'll have a few people share tonight some of the takeaways. And then we went on and had an event at Harris's place and got to be with more people and people that hadn't been able to make it to Orlando, and some that did. We got to see them again. And so it's just so wonderful being with the community. We are so grateful and blessed to have each and every one of you, and we just love being together. So now we're down in Port Charlotte, and tonight we have a home meeting at Jeff and Angela's magnificent home that they designed and built. And it's really beautiful. They're long time friends of ours, and we just love sharing this journey with them. We'll be home at midnight tomorrow. And tomorrow night, Janet will be hosting the call. I do need to confirm that, honey. And we have on Anne Moreau hosting Dr. Henrietta. So our practitioners are such a gift, each and every one of them. So Power the Pet Showcase, like this call, is an opportunity to bring your guests. And this call is designed to just share product stories. And tomorrow night's call, we get into sharing a little bit about how to get started, but it's an open call for everybody. And we do hope that you bring guests tomorrow night. And we'll be back midnight tomorrow night, and we're home until September 22nd. And I'm looking forward to that. Okay, but I think that's all for today, right? Thank you for all those great stories. We love it. Bimi, a wonderful job hosting, and thank you for all your contributions, everyone. The chat was lively and lots of wonderful. You guys are answering each other's questions, and I love it. Everybody's contributing, and it was just, it's like I said again, so great to be with people in person, and we'll get to be with a lot of you in Anaheim. And a little reminder is in the Facebook group, there is a link now that you can start transferring if you got extra tickets and putting people's names and going through that. And very soon we'll have a post for rides and room shares and all that kind of thing. It's not quite up yet, but we'll get there soon. Okay, anything else, honey, for finally?
I think that does it.
So we'll get to unmute everybody, and you can say thank you and goodbye if you'd like.
Thank you, Beanie.
Great stories.
Great testimonies.
Thank
you for your
shares.
shares.
Have a great
Have a
day.
blessed day.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, love tribe.
Great
night.
job.
Bye. Have a good day. Bye.
Great call, Beanie.
Blessings.
Heidi, you're as beautiful as ever.
Hi, everyone.
Bye,
Robert, what's
everybody.
that transferring of